What's up, guys? Episode number 12, Take on New York Sports. I am Anthony Heaton, recording this on Monday, December 28th. Hope you guys all had a nice holiday. And coming up on New Year's now, this godforsaken year of 2020, almost over. Hopefully 2021 has good things to come. Twitter, Instagram, Take on NY Sports, the website, takeonnysports.com. We are starting today with the NHL. I know it was a big football weekend, an even bigger one coming in Week 17, but we're going to touch a little bit on Henrik again. We all know now he had the heart condition. Turns out that it's pretty severe. He's now going to be undergoing open heart surgery. And I just want to read from his Twitter account where he says, "The last 3 weeks, my focus has shifted from training camp and the upcoming season to my health and what I can and can't do. Scheduled for an open heart surgery now. Aortic valve replacement, aortic root, and ascending aortic replacement, to be more exact. We all have our mountains to climb, staying positive here and set on the road to recovery." So, I mean, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know how in-depth, how in-depth the surgery is, but, open heart surgery is open heart surgery. And it's just crazy. I know he's been playing with it for, I guess, his whole career, but man, the timing of it is rough, for him, obviously, but, the Capitals think they get basically a living legend to try to teach their kid Samsonov, mentor him. And I mean, it's just crazy to think Henrik Lundqvist playing all those games, all those years, all those playoff rounds for us. And now, he's a human being just like us. And as sports fans, a lot of the times we don't think of him that way, I know me personally, as I get older, you start to look at things differently, but it's just still it's surreal, 38 years old, he's going for open heart surgery. It just goes to show you, man, it's just, anything can happen to anybody, and life is precious. Just enjoy every day and, live life to the fullest. Hopefully, Lundqvist comes through this, no issues. Whether he plays again, I mean, I assume the answer to that is no. But again, you never know. Never say never. But first and foremost, you want him to have the surgery, be successful, and, live out the rest of his life without having this hanging over him. So that's the first thing. Hank, we love you. Speedy recovery. Now, on the positive side of things, 1 week until training camp. Can't wait, man. The freaking Rangers are back. Quick side note, can we just name Mika the captain already? Can we just get that over with? I don't want to hear about this nonsense I was reading. Oh, it's going to, do you put that burden on him? No. The guy's a superstar. Give it to him. He's earned it. Let's go. We're not going through another season with 3 alternate captains. It's just ridiculous. But we start the season on the 14th. And the way they're doing the scheduling is, kind of what we thought. We're playing 3 home games to start the season. We got the Islanders, and Devils. And we're kind of, if you look at the whole schedule, it's bunched up. Obviously, the goal is to minimize travel. Once you fly a team in to play them again a night or two later. I get it. It makes sense. It's kind of like an MLB schedule. And, it's different for the NHL, obviously. And, again, it's going to have its pros, it's going to have its cons, but I think it'll be exciting either way. Fast-paced, you're playing, obviously, the same teams. So once you get into the playoffs, you're going to be seeing teams after the first two rounds, obviously, that you haven't seen. And, that could add some excitement to it, at least playoff-wise. But I just, again, I don't care who we're playing, when we're playing, where we're playing them, as long as we're playing. And I'm sure every other Ranger fan and NHL fan, is right on board with that. There was a couple transactions. Corey Perry signs with the Canadiens, 1 year, $750,000. Derek Stepan, our old friend Derek Stepan, traded to the Ottawa Senators. So that's a nice pickup for them. And there's a bunch of these professional tryout contracts that have been given out. I guess they're like, the equivalent of like a MLB spring training invitation. But Craig Anderson got one from the Capitals. Obviously, they had plans with Lundqvist. Now they're looking at another veteran. Michael Del Zotto, we'll remember him, with the Blue Jackets. And it's hard to believe, but he's 30 already. I know he's been around a couple different teams, bumped around, but man, Michael Del Zotto feels like he just came up, and he's 30. And Mike Hoffman, St. Louis Blues, giving him a tryout. So, some interesting things to watch as training camps open up. I believe a few days away from now for the, teams that didn't make it into the bubble last season. But like I said, the Rangers start on, I think it's Sunday, technically, the 3rd. But, rock and roll, man. Fast-paced hockey. Let's do it. NFL. The Giants, as hard as this is to believe, can still win the division. They could win the NFC East at 6-10. And do they deserve it? No, absolutely not. But who in the NFC East does deserve to win it? Somebody's gotta. And thank goodness for the Panthers beating Washington, because without that, we would have been done. We basically laid an egg against the Ravens. We knew it was going to be a tough game. Baltimore's just on a different level than us. But again, like I said, luckily, the Washington football team couldn't beat Carolina at home. And they released Dwayne Haskins today. Now, he stinks, first of all. He hasn't been any good. He's gotten a chance with Alex Smith hurt, but he hasn't done anything with it. There was also the video of him maskless in the private party. So he got fined for that. He got stripped of his captaincy. And Ron Rivera told him today, hey man, we're cutting you. Thanks for whatever, the 2 years he was there. But to his credit, he did say the right thing afterwards. His exact quote was, "My time with the Washington football team has unfortunately come to an end. I thank the team and fans for the opportunity to play for the team I grew up rooting for. I take full responsibility for not meeting the standards of an NFL quarterback and will become a better man and player because of this experience." So, that's the positive you take from it for him. But yeah, I don't know. Somebody will take a chance on him. Everybody gets a second chance in this league, and, we'll see what happens with him. But the Giants, I mean, it's simple now at this point. Week 17. Beat Dallas at home, which is definitely doable, and now flex to the Sunday night game. You need the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the the Washington football team. It's as simple as that. You beat the Cowboys, Philly beats Washington, we're the NFC East champs, and we're hosting a playoff game, as hard as that is to believe. And not that you see us doing anything at this point, but listen, got to be in it to win it, right? Get in, roll the dice, see what happens. That's where the Giants stands. The Jets have officially been eliminated from the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, a.k.a. the number 1 overall pick. Jacksonville has now clinched that, no matter what happens in Week 17. So, you see what the Jets do. They trade the pick. I don't think they're too high on the Ohio State quarterback. But again, that's a possibility. And it all really boils down to who's going to coach this team. Gase is gone, regardless. And, I could take this pencil I have right here, and he could be a better coach, or she, for that matter, can be a better coach than Gase. So it's not so much, are you upgrading the coaching position? It's who's going to be the coach. Do they believe in Sam Darnold? Do they have, other thoughts in mind? So there's really no answer for the Jets as of right now, because they got to get the coach in place first. But their season obviously is over. It's been over for a while. They finish up against the Patriots, who have also been eliminated. So yeah, Week 17. I'm very excited that the Giants are alive. I'm a little, it's, I don't know the right word for it, but you're happy, but it's almost like a letdown. Like, oh, great, we won the NFC East at 6-10, almost backed our way into it. But again, you take what you can get. If we win the division, am I going to celebrate? Yeah, of course. Do we think anything is going to come of it? No, but like I said, got to be in it to win it, right? NBA in full swing now. The Knicks, a big win over Milwaukee, 130-110. They lost their opener against the Pacers, which they could have won. I mean, they were up in that game, I think, all the way until the end of the third quarter. And then they just collapsed. Again, it's a young team. They're learning. They're trying to find themselves. Stuff like that's going to happen. And you have to, expect it almost at this point. But, I mean, the game against Milwaukee, Julius Randle, 29 points. Elfrid Payton, who was pretty terrible the first 2 games, 27 points. Dropping threes like they were going out of style. Alex Burks, 18 points. And RJ Barrett, 17 points. Barrett's been impressive to me. I know a lot of hype with him coming out of Duke last year. Didn't live up to that at all. But again, this is a growing year, and it's only going to get better for him. He has a very positive upside, and you're hoping that Thibodeau can get it out of him, because I think he can really be a player and a part of the Knicks' future. There's a few guys on this team that you can really see being part of the future. One of them is Obi Toppin. Again, I know it's a very short sample size and he's been hurt, but he looks like one of the guys that could be for real. Speaking of Toppin, though, he's going to get reevaluated in 7 days, they're saying. He's got that calf strain, though. And if he's going to be out for an extended period of time, that's rough, because you want to see the kid. He's got to play every day. And the calf strains are tough, especially for a big man like that. They can linger and linger and linger, and then, you wind up doing more damage. Emmanuel Quickly, day to day right now with that hip. So, again, some of the pieces that you want to see right now out for the Knicks, the injury bug hitting them a little bit. But, what can you say? 1-2 so far. They looked good in, basically, 10 out of the 12 quarters. That's all you can ask for. Again, they're young, they're learning, they're developing, and, you hope they're on the right track. The Nets, unfortunately, with some bad injury news, Spencer Dinwiddie has a partially torn ACL. Now, they're saying no structural damage, and he's expected to make a full recovery and be ready for next season. So that's obviously a positive, but he's a big piece to what they're doing over there. Obviously, Durant, Kyrie, but Dinwiddie's a good player, a real good player. And, the Nets have a lot of depth, which is, that's a very important thing in the league these days. Because you got your superstars. On the Lakers, you got LeBron, AD, but they have depth. And they had great depth last year. And that's what, propelled them to the championship. So the Nets, I think, are built to withstand an injury like this. Especially with the way Durant looks. He looks like a man on a mission, I tell you. So I think they're going to be okay. It just sucks for Dinwiddie. Nice player, really is. We'll finish things up this week with baseball. We got some transactions to talk about. Blake Snell, the quote-unquote ace of the Tampa Bay Rays, has been traded to the San Diego Padres. I don't think it's official yet, but how do I feel about this? I'm happy, and I'm a little reluctant at the same time to show my, happiness, because the Rays probably somehow got better by trading away their ace. And they're probably the one organization that can do that. Again, they've done this several times over, and they always seem to just kind of, turn the circle over again. And now they're bringing a couple prospects from San Diego who will probably turn out to be Cy Young winners. And, they add their depth. Who did they add, actually? They got the Padres' number 3 prospect and number 23 prospect. Their number 7 prospect, who's a catcher, and the number 14 prospect, a 25-year-old who was number 15 prospect in all of MLB a couple years ago. So, listen, Tampa Bay, they know what they're doing, especially their front office. So, just watch out for them, as always. But the Padres, man, they're going for it. They got, they signed Machado to that big contract. Tatis Jr. is a monster. And, they're loading up on pitching now. I know Clevenger had Tommy John surgery, so he's going to be out this season. But, man, their rotation is deep. And they're also being linked to Yu Darvish right now, the 34-year-old pitcher on the Cubs. And they're almost at the finish line with that trade, as all reports are saying. So, they're trying to overtake the Dodgers, and I guess that's the way to do it, Their offense was really good last year. They just stack up on that pitching. That could be a fun race to watch next year out in the NL West. And they also, speaking of the Padres, signed the Korean infielder. I guess he's really a shortstop, but you got Tatis Jr. and Machado over at third there. Maybe you platoon him at second, but Ha-Sung Kim, the 25-year-old, we spoke about him a few episodes ago. It goes back to what I was saying, San Diego's going for it. They got to try to dethrone the Dodgers, who have just pretty much won the division every year for the last however many years. So good for them. They're a young, fun team to watch, and we'll see if they can keep up with the Dodgers, who, again, are, I mean, the Dodgers are just great. I mean, plain and simple. And there's not reports saying that they're linked to these guys, but there's been articles written where, oh, watch out for the Dodgers with DJ LeMahieu or Trevor Bauer. It's like, come on, that's just nuts. But again, no salary cap in baseball. Spend what you want to spend. JT Realmuto has an offer from the Phillies. It's not being disclosed, the financials of it yet, but he has been offered a contract. I think he stays in Philly. I don't think the market is what he thought it was going to be for him. So I see him staying with Philly. And luckily, we haven't heard any offers being made for LeMahieu yet, which is good for the Yankees, because we're trying to keep him at that 3 and 4 year mark while he's looking for 5. So hopefully he doesn't get that 5. We can stand pat on our offer, bring him back 3 or 4 years, and, start to go from there. Oh, by the way, how about a number 2 pitcher? I don't want to trade for Darvish. Again, he's almost a lock to go to San Diego at this point, but I've seen a couple people say trade for Darvish. No thanks. Not with the amount he's making at 34 years old. I know he had a great season last year. I think he finished second in the Cy Young. No thanks. Don't want him. So that's what we're going to wrap things up with today, guys. I'll be back Friday. Yeah, I'll be back Friday. I know it's New Year's Day, but, everybody be safe. Enjoy the New Year's. And let's go 2021 and some New York Rangers hockey. All right? Until Friday, guys. Be well.